When you pick up your registration packet, we often get a lot of questions about what to do with all the bags that you get. So instead of giving you a list of things that you can put in your various bags, we thought it would be easier to do a visual approach and actually go through packing the various bags that you're going to get in your Ironman registration packet and give you some ideas of what we've used, and then obviously you can use your own interpretation and come up with what will work best for you. So first, when you pick up your packet, you're going to have 5 bags. A swim/morning clothes bag, a bike gear bag, a bike special needs bag, a run gear bag, and a run special needs bag. Your bike, gear, and run gear bags you will actually take with you on Saturday, the day before the race, when you go to check in your bike. And you'll check in these bags in their designated areas. You do not need to check in your nutrition at that time. So your bike nutrition that you're going to have on your bike, or your run nutrition, like your fuel belt that you're going to want, if you're going to wear a fuel belt or whatever type of fueling system you're going to use, you don't need to put that in your run gear bag on Saturday before you check it in, because you will have access to these bags on Sunday morning when you go into transition. But I'll show you all the other items that you will want to pack in your bike, in your run gear bag, prior to dropping it off on Saturday. But I will start with your kind of swim/morning clothes bag. And that's this bag up here. Okay. So what you'll want to put in this bag is anything you're going to need for the swim. So obviously you're going to have your wetsuit. You might have booties and neoprene cap because it can get chilly at Tempe Town Lake. That'll go in here. Also goggles, foggle, or whatever type of spray that you might use so that your goggles don't fog up. I always have a race cap on under the cap that is provided for the race, just because I like to double cap that way. But you will also have your official race cap, and you'll keep that in your bag. Also, I know we posted earlier in the week about various kinds of glide, slide. I put all of that in my swim bag as well, because I put it on when I'm putting my wetsuit on, and then I don't put it on any other time. So my chamois cream and everything like that, I do it when I'm getting ready for the swim. But if you do it when you're getting ready for the bike, you'd want it in your bike bag. And so that all goes into my swim morning clothes bag. Sunscreen, any type of salt pills or snacks that I want to eat in transition in the morning. So if you eat fruit or whatever you want to eat, I sometimes throw a banana in my bag as well. So this will actually be coming with you in the morning when you go down to transition area. You can also put in here anything that you're wearing in the morning down to the race site, because obviously once you get to transition, eventually all this will come out. You'll use part of it, put your wetsuit on. You can put your warm-up clothes, whatever you want in here, and this bag will actually be picked up. You can pick it up after the race and put your dry clothes back on after the race at night. Your family could actually pick this bag up as well, and they can bring it to wherever they're waiting for you. We're going to have a Team FC pop-up tent. All they need is a ticket that you'll also get in your registration packet, and they can pick up your swim clothes bag, your bike bag as well. So that'll be one less thing that you need to do after you finish racing. So that is the morning clothes / swim bag. Next, I'm going to go to your bike gear bag. Again, this bike bag will be dropped off on Saturday when you're dropping off your bike. And what will go in it is basically everything that once you get out of the swim that you need to put on to go start the bike course. So I always have in mine my lucky towel. This has actually went pretty much to every race with me. So it's a very kind of personal preference thing, but just when I get in the changing area, if I just kind of want to dry off a little bit, so I'm not putting socks on wet feet, things like that. Also, in Tempe, it can be a little bit chilly in the morning, So it might be a game time decision if I want to wear my sleeves or not. And I purposely already have them rolled up so that I can just put them on, and then once I get out on the bike, I can roll them up so I'm not, I'm wet, even if I dry off a little bit, so I'm not fidgeting with trying to pull them all the way up. I have my socks and shoes. I always put my socks inside my shoes, just saves time so they're not kind of rolled up in a ball and then you have to open them. Your helmet, your bib number, which you'll wear on the bike, sunglasses. Some people have asked me about doing a full change of clothes between the swim and the bike. Totally a personal preference. I've never done it, but if that's something you want to do, you would want to have that in your bike gear bag as well. And I try to set my gear bag up kind of in the order that I'm going to grab things, just to make my transition as efficient as possible. You won't put your nutrition in here. You'll be able to access your bike in the morning and put your nutrition on the bike itself at that time. If there is nutrition for whatever reason that you would want to have in here, you can put it in the morning. So that is your bike gear bag. Your run gear bag. This one you will also drop off on Saturday when you are going and dropping off your bike. So some typical things, obviously, you want to put your run shoes, otherwise it would be an uncomfortable 26.2 miles without them. I tend to also put some anti-chafe, glide type of stuff in my run gear bag as well. Since I put it on in the morning before I go out for the swim, after 2.4 mile swim and 112 miles on the bike, sometimes it's worn off, so I like to kind of reapply in transition. You can also put sunblock, but there's typically sunblock in transition, like people are handing it to you as you run out, but you can also put your own. Because similar to on the bike, when you're going out, that it could be cold, it could be warm going out on the run. So I put my cool sleeves, just as I did with my bike sleeves, in my run gear bag, and then make a game time decision. Do I want to wear them? Do I want to throw them in the back of my FC tri-top to maybe put them on later in the run if I think it's going to get warm out there? I always put both a hat and a visor. I typically like to run in a visor, but if it's really warm and I want more protection, I put a hat. My fuel belt, because I do run with a fuel belt. I don't put this in my run gear bag when I drop it off on Saturday, but I bring it with me on Sunday morning with all my fuel in it, have access to my run gear bag, and put it in there. What I always typically take, and whether it's wearing it on a fuel belt or if you just put it in one of your pockets, I put extra electrolyte pills. I always have chapstick because it works for chafing as well. Put extra snacks, just anything I want to carry with me. A lot of people don't run with a fuel belt and they just grab stuff on the course, and that's fine too. Just like my bike gear bag, I try to put everything in the order I'm going to get it to be as efficient as I possibly can in the transition area, because the quicker you get out of transition, the quicker you finish the race. So that is your run gear bag. The last two bags are your special needs bags. And these are honestly the ones that we get the most kind of questions about, what will I possibly need at special needs. And you can only access your special needs bags once. So once on the bike course about halfway through, and once on the run course about halfway through. And the way Joby and I always like to think about special needs bags are exactly that. They're special. I don't put anything in them that I plan on having to need to use. It's just truly if something comes up unplanned that I would want to stop. Just because I don't like to stop anytime unnecessarily when I'm racing. So some things that I typically put in my special needs bag, and it's very minimal. So I know you're given these huge bags and you think you have to fill them. In the gear bags you typically do, because there's helmets and there's running shoes and all that stuff. But for my bike special needs bag, I put an extra tube and CO2 cartridge. I carry on my bike with me 2 tubes and 3 CO2 cartridges. And if for some reason, God forbid, I actually go through all of that, before the halfway point on the bike and there's no other assistance around, I know that I have this in my special needs bag so that I won't be stranded on the bike course without a spare tube or a spare CO2 if I've gone through all my other extras. I also throw some extra food. Again, I carry all the food that I need with me on my bike, or I plan to get it from the race course, but you know, anything happens in Ironman racing, and so I just like to have something extra there in case I need it, if nutrition fell off my bike, whatever. Similarly, for kind of liquid nutrition, I carry everything I need, but you know, if a bottle falls off my bike, something like that, I know that in my special needs bag, I have an extra. And again, a goo for the same purpose. So special needs, not a ton of stuff in there, and chances are I'm never gonna have to use it. And you can actually, if you don't get your special needs bag, or even if you do access it during the race, the Sunday morning after the race, you can go to the race site and pick up your special needs bag if you want, so that you're not, you know, losing a CO2 cartridge and a tube or anything like that. Last bag, run special needs. Exact kind of same principles as the bike special needs. I like to plan not to have to use this bag. So the only things I carry in it are an extra pair of socks in case anything can happen on the run, blisters, anything like that. And actually, I typically put an extra pair of socks in my run gear bag as well, just in case I'm on the bike, it starts torrential downpour. When I get to the run, I have a clean, dry pair of socks in my run bag if I want to switch out. But I put a pair in my special needs bag again, just in case anything happens on the run course and feeling a blister or whatever. I put a long sleeve shirt in case I'm out there longer than I anticipate and start to get cold. And then I put some extra food. None of the food that I put in this bag do I like build into my race plan that I'm going to eat, but I know it's there if I want it. And that, in a nutshell, is all of the special needs bags that you're going to get. Some things that we typically put in them, and hopefully this is helpful. So let the countdown continue, and we're at IMAZ in a few weeks, team.